The sins of Sodom were pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the poor and the needy, and they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore I took them away as I saw good. So it was not just the homosexuality, it was also pride, fullness of bread, abundance of idleness, and they did not strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. This is a long list, and if we checked this list off in our lives, many of us would be guilty of almost all of these things. We have to be very careful because the enemy is going to tempt us to be this way. And God deals with individuals, Nowadays he does not protect an entire nation in the way that he has in the past. I believe his protection is only upon faithful individuals now. So consider yourself like a nation, and is your life, put all these things in a checklist and check them off, be honest with yourself, be conservative even, and say to yourself, do I have a ton of food stocked up in my kitchen? So I got fullness of bread. Do I have pride? Do I think I'm more important than others? For instance, the animals. A lot of us have pride in the fact that we think we're more important than the animals, that they deserve to suffer and die for us so we can eat, even though we don't need to eat them. That's pride. Thinking that our church is the only right church and all the other Christians are stupid and they're wrong. That's not the right attitude. Pride in your country. This is a big one. A lot of people are prideful about their country. Not strengthening the hand of the poor and the needy. This is something that I need to do. I've done it in the past, and I've had this problem where my pay card, my debit card, will not work with the Feed My Starving Children charity, and then each month I try to put a little money in, but it doesn't accept it. So I use that as an excuse to think that God doesn't want me to pay them, but I think that's a lie. So what I need to do is see this as the enemy trying to stop me from being able to help the poor in that way. So also sodomy, sexual adultery, fornication. We need to make sure that's not in our lives. Homosexuality, lesbianism, watching movies with homosexuality and lesbianism. That's the abominations. But also other abominations, looking at pornography, doing drugs. Okay, so idleness. Are we idle? Do we have a lot going on in our lives? Are we doing laboring? Are we being spent and spending for the Lord? Not just sitting on a computer all day either. I'm talking about getting involved in society. You're supposed to be a major member in your city. You're supposed to be out there getting to know the people, witnessing for Jesus. Not just sitting here making videos on YouTube. Although if you live out in the country, maybe that's acceptable. Let God tell you what to do. If you have a good reputation, you need to be out among the people and be preaching about Jesus. If you have a bad reputation, then you need to be more in the shadows in general, doing your service. It depends. God will tell you. But you don't want everybody to say, oh, this person's this, that, and that. Unless you've been radically changed and now they can't point fingers at you. You don't want to be representing Christ as a hypocrite. So this is some big stuff here. And God took them away as he saw good. He just got rid of them. You want God to get rid of you with a heart attack or whatever, however he wants to choose to take you out? You want to serve God. You want to serve Jesus. Be faithful. Don't serve him out of fear though. If you're serving God out of fear, maybe it's it's okay because you got some wickedness in your life and you need to fear God. But if you're afraid of God and that's why you're serving Him, then you haven't really seen His love for you and you don't understand His grace. So, in His patience, He has patience and love for you. So I hope you can understand the importance of not having this checklist apply to you. Alright? And as long as you don't have all these things in your life, you got a fighting chance. But if you got them all, you're an object or a subject of God's wrath. You better be careful.